Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Spoiler Alert. It's the fourth episode of Spoiler Alert. Again, anything goes here, but before we get started, let me take care of some business first, and then we'll get started here. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you want to know when I'm beyond live again next, hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media, so Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and I have links to my pages as well, which is my YouTube channel page here, my Facebook page. And for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right. So, like I said, with spoiler alert, you guys can talk about anything as long as it's out. If you've seen a sneak preview of something, like, if you've seen a sneak preview of What If or something like that, that's off limits. So anything that's been released to theaters, on TV, whatever, is fair game here. So, yeah, if you guys have questions about stuff or want to discuss something like, I don't know, Loki or that's pretty much what this is, so that we can all talk about that. Just to let you know, though, on Tuesday, I am going to be covering Masters of the Universe Revelations. So I'll talk about it, but I won't give you my response on it, yes or no, on that one. If I liked it or not. So, yeah. And only the first half, of course, of Masters of the Universe came out. So, but I'll get started here. I saw Jolt with Kate Beckinsale, which is on Amazon Prime. And I really don't know what to make of it, to tell you the truth. I really don't know what to make of it. I don't know if it was supposed to be a comedy, if it was supposed to be, an action movie, or what it was trying to go for genre wise, but it came out kind of mishmashed. And yeah, if you don't know what it is, she's basically you never heard of it. Yeah, it's new pen, and she essentially is supposed to be someone who's born with impulse control, I guess you can say. And so she always has cortisol pumping through her system. So she's a little stronger than average, and she's also got a hair trigger. So she will go off on people and just beat the fuck out of people. And part of her, I guess you could say, therapy is that she has a vest made for her by her therapist that she can deliver herself an electric jolt to keep her from, beating the shit out of somebody. And she's done all kinds of different things. So she's been in the military before. She's she's had all kinds of different jobs. So she has a whole bunch of different skill sets, if you will. And her therapist, of course, who's played by Stanley Tucci, by the way, tells her to get out and date. And she meets Courtney Jai, is who she meets, who's an accountant for some billionaire. And she only has one date with him, has sex with him, thinks it's the best thing ever, thinks she's cured, and then she finds out that he's dead. And so she goes to basically find out who killed him, and beats a lot of shit. She beats a shit ton of people up along the way. So that's pretty much where this goes. It sounds like it'd be a fun movie. It's kind of tedious, honestly. It kind of goes on and on and on, and you're just like, okay. And it just gets more ridiculous as you go along. So yeah. So are we doing a full Jolt review here? No, I'm just saying this is spoiler alert, man. So I didn't say about anything about the end. In the end, we win. Yay. And I did see, finally I saw Boss Level, which was, I have to admit, was pretty funny. I forgot about the director, Joe Carnahan. Yeah. who did Narc. I remember seeing Narc in the theaters when it first came out. The A Team, the one with Liam Neeson, which I really liked. He also did The Gray with Liam Neeson as well. There's a few other movies that he's done that I actually like, and yeah, Boss Level was fun. Boss Level was a fun movie. Frank Grillo is still way, way, way too full of shit and full of himself. But and it comes through in this one too. So that's the only thing I would say was kind of the off-putting part of it. But the movie wasn't bad. Stanley Trail says, I've thought about watching Jolt. Is Kate wearing a lot of black leather? She is, including black leather pumps as well, you know, the high heel pumps and stuff like that. So yeah, she does wear a lot of black leather and brown leather. A lot of leather is what she wears. So, and crop tops and things like that. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a good movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I'd already gotten halfway through, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll watch the rest. I was like, why did I watch the rest? I was like, but yeah. Oh, and I still haven't seen. I've seen only the first 2 episodes of the new Rick and Morty season, mainly because Adult Swim. They used to do it where they had the episodes for free after like a week or something like that, and now they're just being dickheads about it and they're just locking it up. They're saying unless you have a cable provider, and I'm like, yeah, no, I have HBO Go. So if I have HBO Go, you should just play it on HBO Go, then I'll watch it there. But no, I pay enough for HBO Go as it is. I figure that should be included in the price. I'm not paying a cable subscription just to watch Rick and Morty. Fuck that shit. There are other ways to watch it too without having to, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. And that's actually kind of been tainting this season for me. It's just because they've gone that route with it. Yeah. Stanley Tweedle says, I get the impression you were not too happy with Masters of the Universe. Are you one of those people with a narrow worldview? No, Stanley Tweedle. I actually, okay, so I'll tell you right now what happened with me with Masters of the Universe Revelations. So after the first episode and what happened in the first episode, I was like, huh, this is written by someone who had a near-death experience and is now kind of dealing with that through a cartoon that he watched as a child, is what I was thinking of. And then after I watched episode 5, I was like, this is exactly what happens after someone who's had a near-death experience is writing a cartoon that they used to watch as a child or a teenager, if you will, and he's working through his issues through this. I was like, Kevin Smith was probably not the best person to have writing this script at this point in time. Kevin Smith before the heart attack, if he had watched this about, you know, what this Kevin Smith had done, would probably be just as vocal as a lot of people are right now over what he did with this series. There's a lot of how shall I say it? There's moments in it that the Simpsons have done parodies of where someone has taken a child's cartoon and gone too far with the touchy-feely stuff and ruined a cartoon basically by Poochie is a perfect example of going too far and trying to modernize a cartoon, an older cartoon, and then making it just become really horrible because of the content more than anything else. Popeye Pliskin says Lena Headey and her character is great in Masters of the Universe. That's all I'll say about it. Yeah, I liked Lena Headey's character in it. The puns are from the 80s. Yes, the really bad puns. And I groaned at quite a few of them. Uh, Stanley says, "Really? Okay. Did he have a heart attack? I'm not following." Yeah, he had a massive heart attack, Stanley. So he had what's called a widowmaker. Uh, he shouldn't have survived it, really, and he's gone on and on about this ad infinitum. That's why he lost so much weight. Why he dropped all that weight, because he went to becoming. I think he became a vegan. Is what he became afterwards. Just to drop all the weight, and yeah, you can tell now it's all about near death experience. Is really, if you go back and watch this with that in mind, and you're like, yeah, this is someone who had a near death experience. And I mean, it's even got Judeo-Christian bullshit running through it and everything, and I'm like, wow, dude, you really need to have gone through a therapist first to work through your issues, and then you could have written something better. But no, he decided to do therapy through writing and put it on screen for everyone to see. Yeah. Stanley says, I got the impression he is just a figurehead and not really involved. No, he wrote the screenplay. Stanley, if you go back and watch the episode, it says written by Kevin Smith. He's the only person who says written by. So he wasn't a figurehead in that. He wrote it. He wrote the screenplay. Yeah. Well, the animation's done by the guys who did Castlevania. So yeah. And yes, they had a great voice cast. I mean, come on. Henry Rollins as Triclops, that I didn't see coming. That just made me fucking laugh, honestly. And then having Triclops become kind of a priest, if you will, of a cult. That was funny, I have to admit. And I think Clancy Brown, wasn't he Beastman? I want to say Clancy Brown was in it too. Yeah, join the motherboard. Yeah, and I guess Justin Long played Roboto, as he was the voice of Roboto, which I thought was pretty funny as well. And Sir Davos Seaworth as Man at Arms. Yeah. So yeah, if you go back and watch it, it's a man. The guy who wrote this is a man who is working through a near death experience and just never went to therapy about it, and probably should have, quite honestly. He's still working through some issues, you could tell. And I mean, literally, that was the first thing that went through my mind in the first episode. I'm like, huh, this is written by a man who went through a near death experience and is trying to work things out through writing. And yeah, it was kind of funny that was the first thing that popped in my head. And the last episode, the fifth episode, I was like, yep, that's exactly what it is. Penn says, you're making me want to watch it for the voice cast. You can watch it for the voice cast, Penn. Just be aware that you might end up getting pissed off, like a lot of other people have. So Sarah Michelle Gellar as Tila, I swear to God, man, the Tila moments when people are going, wait, I've got something to tell you. She's like, I don't want to hear it. And she walks away. And I'm like, and I mean, she does it more than once. She does it like 15 times where someone's like, I got something important to tell you. And she turns around and goes, I don't want to hear it. You have lied to me before. And I'm like, what is this, Clerks? You know? Staley says, I like Mark Hamill's Joker. And yeah, he was doing the Joker in this one. It was Skeletor doing the Joker. It really was. Stanley says, Tila was such a charming presence. Oh man. Popeye Pliskin says she's force sensitive. That's why they want to tell her. Oh man. But no, it made me laugh every time. I'm like, someone's gonna try and tell Tila something. I mean, it's almost a drinking game at that point where you go, someone's gonna try and tell Tila something, she's gonna walk away. And sure enough, it's like, Tila, I need to tell you something. Because it was always I guess you could say a fork in the road, where people are like, well, we need to go, we need to split ways. And they're like, wait, before we go, I need to tell you something. I don't want to hear it. And she walks away. It was that bad. And I was like, okay, drink, Oh, fuck. Yeah, it was bad writing. It was really, really, really bad writing. Um, Even worse than the 80s original scripts, which were just designed to sell toys, is really what it was. But yeah, enough about that. She's pissed about not being told something and always doesn't want to hear stuff. Yeah, she's just pissed because no one told her that Adam was He-Man. That's literally what it is that secret was being held from her. And ever since then, when she finds that out, she trusts nobody whatsoever and doesn't want to hear anything from anybody. And yeah, it's one of those things you're just like, wow, you might want to seek some therapy for that. Again, they we need a therapist in this whole thing. And yeah, show me on the doll where they hurt you, where they touched you. So those were my issues. I mean, there's other issues too, but yeah, that was my issue with it. I know what everyone else issues are with it, that it's Masters Universe and it really has no He-Man in it and no Skeletor, except for the beginning and the end. So, excuse me, for episode 1 and episode 5. So we're on part 1 of a 10 episode series. This is the other thing I hate too about Netflix is they haven't committed to the weekly releases, of course. So instead, what they do is they release half a season, and then a couple months down the line, they're going to release the other half of the season after you've forgotten what the first half of the season was. So because everyone binged it already, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't remember what the fuck happened." So it's the same thing like War for Cybertron. I looked at Earthstrike because I couldn't remember if I had watched it or not, and I was midway through the first episode. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I did watch this already." Because the last episode in the trilogy is supposed to be coming out this coming Friday. Yeah. And because of that, I couldn't remember what the fuck was going on. Oh, really? They're saying it's the new Last Jet. Oh God. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah. He-Man is nowhere near as popular as Star Wars. It's pretty popular, Penn, still. I mean, there there are a lot of geeks out there that like it a lot. And yeah, it's not as popular as Star Wars, but it's close. You got a lot of the same crossover of fans. I mean, there's a reason why they made a She-Ra series out of this, a spinoff. It was supposed to be one for the boys, one for the girls. And yes, I know. Yeah. Stanley said it was after my childhood, so I couldn't care less. Yeah, it was my teens as well. So it was 83 to 85. Yeah. So it's in the same range as Kevin Smith's, wheelhouse, I guess you could say, age range. And yeah, he needed to step back from that, is really what he needed to do. He really does. I mean, like I said, he needs some kind of therapy, some therapeutic um catharsis, shall we say, in order to get over his stuff that from the near death experience, or to deal with his near death experience, I should say, not to get over it, but to deal with it. Yeah. Penn says I watched He-Man and She-Ra with my nephews. Yeah. See? Popeye Bliskin, the He-Man documentary on Netflix about making of the toy line was, yeah, all those the uh, I forget what they're called now, The Way We Were, or the Making of, or something around. I want to say it was The Way We Were, or What We're Made Of, or something like that, where they take each genre and you know the He-Man was one of their Masters of the Universe is one of them, and they do a good job of it. The Toys That Made Us. Thank you, Stanley. I knew it was called something. I want to say it was The Toys That Made Us or something like that. Yeah. Penn says we prefer Transformers. Yeah, a lot of people do. That's why I want to see that third portion of the trilogy and I mean, it's been almost a year since the first two seasons came out. I guess you could say seasons of that Transformers War for Cybertron thing came out, and it was good. And then I forgot about it. And then I just heard that the third one was coming out, and I was like, "Oh yeah, did I ever watch the second one?" And that's why I kind of went back around to it. So yeah. Oh, and I have to say, I saw the new episode of the Mysterious Benedict Society and was laughing my ass off about uh, Miss Contreras' escape from the island and then coming back to the island as well. When she drops back down out of the ceiling after she's been missing, I didn't need a spot. When Kate catches her, I thought that was pretty funny. Has anyone seen Snake Eyes yet? I didn't think it was Brian De Palma's best movie, and I think that Nicolas Cage really chewed up a lot of scenery in it. So I was not a big fan of it. Yes, I know which Snake Eyes you're talking about. And no, I have not seen it. Nor am I going to, pretty much either. So, in case you didn't know, Brian De Palma did a really bad movie called Snake Eyes with Nick Cage. I want to say around about the 90s, somewhere around there. And boy, was that a piece of shit. Yeah, I didn't see the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movie. And from what it looks like in the box office, not a lot of other people did either. Ba-dum-bum. Considering Old took over the box office, I guess, this weekend. Such that it is. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about the state of movies lately and how, I mean, outside of Marvel, you really don't get a grand sense of movies anymore, like being um, events like they used to be, kind of thing. I mean, it feels now like a lot of movies are the same kind of stuff you can see on TV now. And why should I go to a movie theater to go and see something like that when I've got a perfectly good theater system here at home and I can watch it here? So, who's in it in the GI Joe Snake Eyes movie? The only one I know who's in it, well, actually, the only two that I should say that I know are in it are the guy from Warrior, who's the main character. God, and I can't remember his name. And oh, shit. Samara Weaving is in it as well. She plays Lady Jane, I think is the one she plays. Or Scarlet. Scarlet is who she plays. Yeah. Popeye Pliskin says, "Yeah, I still owe Columbia House for the De Palma Snake Eyes. I'm sorry. Those guys are bastards too. They'll come to your door with baseball bats and stuff." Did you get the 8 movies for a penny thing? Is that what you did? That deal? Yeah, I'm still not buying it on Dune, Stanley. It looks really pretty, but I know it's gonna be a shit movie just because it's Dennis Villeneuve. It's gonna be very, very pretty, but it's going to fail in its execution, and it's gonna be like 3 hours long, 3.5 hours long, something like that. Stanley says, "I prefer the change formers over the transformers." You mean the GoBots? Because there was the GoBots as well. Those ripoffs. Those little bastard ripoffs that they were. Stanley said, "I don't agree about Dune." I know. I know. We went through this yesterday. I'm predicting it's gonna have a really good opening weekend, and then it's going to have the biggest drop on the second weekend of a Warner Brothers movie. Like a huge drop. I'm gonna say 80% drop on the second weekend. The change formers are in Rick and Morty. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. See, that's what happens when you're not able to watch the latest episode because you don't have cable, and that's what Adult Swim wants is you to provide a cable provider in order to watch their programming when you already pay for HBO Go. Popeye Pliskin says Leader One was the leader of the GoBots. What would happen if he got demoted? Would he have to change his name? That's a good question. Maybe he'd be Code Leader One, or maybe he'd just be called Code Leader, or maybe he'd be called No Leader, No Leader One, or maybe Leader One's just a title. You never know. Maybe his name was Bob, and he took on the title of Leader One. You never know. These are the things, the burning stories that people should be writing about and making stories of. I want to know what that backstory is of Leader One. GoBot 2? Possibly. Go Gadget, go Gadget, go. God, speaking of shitty movies, that Matthew Broderick, Inspector Gadget movie. No one ever talks about that one. You know why? Because it was really shitty. Really shitty. To the point where it just killed an entire franchise. That could have been a decent franchise too. It really could have. But nope, nope, nope. Thanks, Matthew Broderick. There are a lot of franchises that were killed in its infancy. I mean, Dread could have been a huge powerhouse. It really could have. If it wasn't for Gareth Edwards and was it Gareth Edwards? No, it wasn't Gareth Edwards. The guy who did The Raid, who basically just stole the entire plot from Dread. Is there a good Matthew Broderick movie? Yeah, there is. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There's also Addicted to Love. Elected, the one with Reese Witherspoon. That's actually twisted but really good. Trying to think what else. There's a few movies out there. The Producers. There's quite a few Matthew Broderick movies out there that are good. Yeah, Godzilla was the one that tainted started tainting his basically he did Inspector Gadget, then he did Godzilla, and then it just started getting worse and worse. War Games, exactly. He did that really horrible one with Eddie Murphy where they were and Ben Stiller where they were raiding the millionaires Alan Alda's office or something like that in order to get their retirement fund back. That was a horrible one too. Yeah, the producers, Stanley. That's what I said as an adult. So that was, I want to say, his last decent movie that he did. Let's see. Let's see what his IMDb pulls up here. I can't remember everything he does. I mean, he keeps a low profile too. It's supposedly has to do with a car accident that happened in you know Europe and all that kind of stuff. You could take a look into it later. Um, he was the talking cat in Rick and Morty, so that might be a good thing there. Trying to see if there's anything else. Wow, no, he's been in a lot of shit. I mean, just The Producers is the last thing. That's from 2005. That's the last good movie that he did. A good thing, I guess you can say that he did. Yeah, nothing else. Oh, I guess he was going to be in the Painkiller, the CW series, and that was killed. Tower Heist. Yes, that was the one, the really horrible one. Stanley says, I'm not such a Ferris Bueller fan, not part of my youth. It was part of mine. So, that's. I have not seen the newer Producers movie. It's basically the stage play, Stanley, is what it was. When they did the revival of it on Broadway, and Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane ended up doing it on Broadway, they just reprised their roles for the movie. And that's why it was good. I'm surprised the Young Frankenstein stage play or musical hasn't been remade into a movie. Mel Brooks, for a while there, he kept redoing his. It was kind of weird. His movies would go from movie to stage play back to movie again, and so it was this weird thing. So, yeah. Stanley says, for some reason, even the original was shown so often in Germany. Huh. Well, it does make fun of that whole. I mean, it's the whole. That's the whole gimmick of it. Is it's supposed to be, these guys that are trying to lose money off of a production, and so they make it not shown. It was not shown so often in Germany. Okay. I was gonna say if it was shown in Germany, I could see that, considering that it is supposed to be so offensive to the audience that it becomes comical. That's the reason for it. Yeah, in the 60s, I could see how it'd be still sensitive. I mean, I know you guys didn't even have Hogan's Heroes over there in Germany in the 70s, because, I mean, come on. We even were over here kind of going, really? You're going to make fun of prisoner of war camps from World War II? All right. And you're going to make it a comedy? Good luck with that. And sure enough, it became a hit. Yeah. That is some bleak shit, really. Trying to think what else. Anything else out there? Yeah, I watched Motherland, Fort Salem. I'm caught up on that. I finished the second season of Solar Opposites. Nah. That ending was just kind of dumb. I mean, just really dumb for Solar Opposites. It really was. I'm trying to think of anything else. I know Peacock has some movies that are out now. Yeah, I'm just not really seeing anything that's grabbing my interest, to tell you the truth. I mean, other than what's coming up with, yeah, The Wall was more interesting than the Solar Opposites stuff. I agree with you, Stanley. Especially Sherry's whole thing that was going on. Yeah. But yeah. Um Anything else I've watched? Nothing I can think of offhand. Oh, Superman and Lois. Superman and Lois has actually been fairly decent, I have to admit. It's been pretty good. I mean, they're not getting stuck on plot lines, bad guy stuff. The Morgan Edge stuff wrapped up fairly quickly. Um, because honestly, it's not like The Flash where they take a fucking season to go over a plot line that could have been done in 1 or 2 episodes. Yeah. Has anyone checked out Kingdom on Netflix? No, I haven't seen it, Raymond. I don't even know if I've heard of it. Stanley said I saw episode 1 of Ultra City Smiths. Yeah, I know the Eradicator episode is next, but they got through the whole thing with the all the Kryptonians taking over people's bodies and whatnot. They got through that portion of it. And it's still, yes, the overall big bad, but it's kind of like they're not it's not something like what is it that we have going on? The Godspeed. The Godspeed thing has just been going on for so long in the Flash right now that I just don't care about it anymore. I just want it to end. And yes, I know it kind of has ended with bringing Thrawn back and everything, but it was just like, bleh. Oh yeah. So Kingdom. Okay, I did watch the first couple episodes of Kingdom, but it was just kind of even more gory than I thought it was going to be, and I couldn't watch any more of it. But are you enjoying Superman and Lois, Raymond? I'm actually enjoying Superman and Lois. I think they're doing a good job of it. And I like Tyler Koch, however you say his name. I like him as Clark and as Superman. It's actually he does a good balance of it, I have to admit. And I like Bitsy Tulloch as Lois. She's actually doing a good job. She actually, I want to say 2 episodes ago, kind of finally stepped into the role, and I could see her as Lois, and I was like, "All right, there we go." Raymond says, "Oh yeah, man. Well, slowly we're getting the Superman. We have Steel, Eradicator. Who else is there? Um, I don't remember offhand. It's been too long for me. I know what you're talking about." Stanley said, "I like Superman and Lois so far. The amount of teenagers is not overwhelming yet." Yeah, I like the balance between his sons and what's going on there. I also like the whole thing that's going on with the Langs as well. Not the Langs, Lana Lang and her family with they've been ostracized unfairly within the town of Smallville. Now they're talking about moving and leaving, which does happen in small towns. You get people that are ostracized for one thing or another, and yeah, which really kind of sucks for people. But sorry, I just turned sideways in my chair because my ass was killing me. So yes, there we go. Oh, much better now. That's what I can do with this chair, by the way, is I can turn it sideways and Sit side saddle. I can also turn all the way around, but then again, this will be covering this little back portion here would be covering my back, my front, which is very comfortable, but you know, then I'd be right in your face, which wouldn't work for this. Then I like to get comfortable while I'm talking with you guys. I saw Kung Fu. I literally watched the whole season of Kung Fu, and yeah, it's still going through. It still has the stereotypes going on too. I mean, the really bad stereotypes. It's up the whole mystic quotient thing, and yeah, the ending was just ridiculous. So Stanley says the two sons make one Superman together. The blondie has the Superman character, and the other the powers. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that Jonathan is going to develop powers at some point in time too. It must be confusing. The actor who plays Jonathan, his real name is Jordan. I can't wait till he starts getting his own storylines. Hey, Mr. Roboto. Mr. Robato's here. We got to go now. So, no, but I am going to be wrapping things up here fairly soon. It was kind of funny. As soon as I said that, the little dog's ears perked up. She's laying on the couch over here, and I saw her ears perked. Start the recap. I don't know if I can, Stanley. There's just too much to recap. I mean, Darth Vader is Luke's father. The dude really was dead in the end of, that movie with Bruce Willis. Jaws is a shark. It's been killing people. I'm trying to think what else. Raymond says, oh, by the way, I got the package. Hey, all right. Cool. That's good. Yeah. No, I'm not going to be reviewing it, Mr. Roboto. I already know what happened in Old. So Old is, and like I said, this is a spoiler thing. So you guys are on your own on this one. So basically, what the beach is a medical testing ground by a group of doctors, and what they've done is they know the beach ages people, and they've been giving people who have illnesses cures within the cocktails they've been drinking at the resort, and then sending them to the beach to see how well those cures work. And so the mother of the kids actually had epilepsy, and her time on the beach there was equivalent to 14 years, and she didn't have an epileptic seizure. But the kids escaped. They're like 50 years old by the time they escape, and they shut everything down on the island, and the doctors get arrested. There you go. There's your spoiler. And there was no twist this time. So Raymond says, so I know for the rewatch, did you cover He-Man? I did cover He-Man a little bit, but I'm going to cover it in full in Is It Worth My Time on Tuesday. The twist was no twist. That's right, Penn. The twist was no twist this time around. What a twist. That's one thing I miss about Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken every now and then used to do the M. Night Shyamalan thing where they'd have a twist at the end of whatever the little skit was, and they'd have M. Night Shyamalan come in and go, what a twist. Which I thought was funny. Raymond Cahill says, oh man, I thought it was all going to be a secret village of ghost bees. Kind of something like that. Wait, Jaws is a shark? That's true. He is. He's a mechanical shark named Bruce, but he doesn't know that. That's why when the TVA gets him and tells him to go through that little, metal detector thing. He doesn't know he's a robot. And yeah. Yep. Now you can't enjoy Jaws. That's all right. You have like what is it? I think there's 5 movies in the whole series. Is that right? Or is there 4 movies? 4 movies. That's right. There's one in 3D as well. And I love how Michael Caine was actually fairly honest about that one, about how he got involved in Jaws 3D. Was he said he needed a new house. That's hilarious. I mean, when you have actors that are actually just, fairly honest about that stuff. It's like, "Yep, I need a new house." I heard that the new, oh god, the new Megan Fox movie that has Bruce Willis in it, I guess they said Bruce Willis they only had for 1 day, so he's, like, in it for maybe 5 scenes, and all of them are sitting down, and they said, and I've been cobbling this together from different reviews, which has just been making me laugh. It almost makes me wanna see it, just see how bad it is. They say that, like, some of the audio is off, some of it looks like B-reel material, like, it was 1 take that they took, whatever the best take was out of that scene, and they try to stretch it as much as possible in, his parts in the movie, but you can tell and then his character just abruptly disappears for no good reason whatsoever, even though he's an FBI agent who's supposedly, you know, um, doing this. But yeah, I've heard that Bruce Willis's new movies, all his movies, has just been like 1 day shoots, and he's been collecting paychecks. That's all he's been doing. I mean, it's not a big surprise. I mean, he's been doing that for the last 20 years, really, but still. Thinking of how the audio is off. So they never got the audio right on his you know, the lip syncing on it. Raymond says that's so Bruce Willis. When did he stop giving a fuck? Like, what was his last good movie? I think we'd have to go back to the 90s maybe for that one. Let's see what Bruce Willis's last movie was. Last good movie was. It might have been The Sixth Sense, quite honestly. God, they call him an actor and a musician. Oh my god. He's got a lot of movies that are coming out that are in post production right now. Uh, so it's called Midnight in the Switchgrass is the name of the movie that he's in with Megan Fox, which is just, oof, yeah. Um, yeah, he was in Motherless Brooklyn, which was a horrible piece of shit. It's one of my favorite books, and it's just been it's ruined. He was in Death Wish, which was horrible. Split was actually fairly decent. It was the end of a trilogy for Unbreakable, then yeah, Split, and then Glass. So yeah, he was in those. I would say that might even be the last good movie that he was in. The last fun movie he was in was Red 2. Yeah, which was in 2013. Yeah. Raymond says, I don't know. I don't really know. I just heard to watch it. Huh. Um, Raymond says, "Oh yeah, I did like the red. Yeah, the red movies are great, but again, I think that's got a lot to do with John Malkovich as well, and Helen Mirren, pretty much everyone else that was in that movie too. He was terrible in the late. Yeah, well, the latest Die Hard movies are all right wing propaganda stuff. So I'm not surprised. I mean, that's where he's falling at lately anyway. So, yeah. Looper was horrible. The last 15 minutes of it destroys the rest of the movie. Surrogates is before Red, by the way. So Surrogates came out in, I'm looking for it. Surrogates came out in 2009. Red came out in 2010, and then Red 2 came out in 2013. So, yeah. And then Glass, of course, was 2019. So I want to say Glass was the last good thing that he was in. And Glass is even kind of questionable for some people on that one. I mean, I liked Unbreakable. Unbreakable, I want to say, is my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie. But then again, it's just a great movie all the way around. And the extended cut, if you can get the extended cut's worth it. Stanley says Looper doesn't make sense in the end, but I liked it anyway. Such a good director. Mhm. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Looper. It violates all its own rules. It really does. So it sets up all these rules during the movie, then it just ignores them in the last like 15, 20 minutes of it. Yeah, I like Split as well. Split was fun. I mean, yeah. And yeah, James McAvoy did a great job in acting in that one with all the different split personalities. Um, could we get a Captain Atom movie? Just paint a dude silver and, well, no, because you'd actually have to come with a storyline. I don't know if Captain Atom's actually ever been in a. You talking about the silver guy? Yeah, yeah. You really have to come with a storyline. He's never really been in a good storyline in the comics. He's always been just kind of a member of the Justice League. That's it. There hasn't been anything that's been a defining moment for the character, a defining storyline, I guess you could say. Not that I know of, anyway. Yeah. So, with that note, what else do I have going on this week? Well, tomorrow I'm off. Tuesday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's Masters of the Universe Revelations. We'll go over that. Wednesday and Thursday I'll be off because there isn't really anything going on at the moment. Friday will be Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Saturday will be Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and anything else you guys want to talk about. And we talk about it. And then we roll back around to Sunday with Spoiler Alert, where we get to talk about spoilerific stuff here. He was blown up in Flashpoint. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, all the links to my social media are there and all the pages as well. All right. Oh, the Long Halloween Part 2 is coming out this week. I still haven't seen the first part. I was waiting until the second part came out to watch both of them together. I don't like when DC splits up the movies like that. They did the same thing with The Dark Knight, and I just waited till it came out on DVD in one coherent movie and just bought it then. I don't like this months in between a movie bullshit. It especially when it's just one movie. Yeah, doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, thanks everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, I don't know. You may wind up on a beach being experimented on by some doctors without any morals, and that are they know the beach actually ages you, and they're giving you a cocktail of crap. Yeah, you know what it is. Anyway, it's a twist, is what it is, with an M. Night Shyamalan twist. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, and I will see you on Tuesday. Have a good rest of your weekend and a good Monday as well. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. See ya.